breastfeeding on the 75 Hard program. I did this as a way to lose the rest of my pregnancy weight, most of my pregnancy weight. I'm Kara from Health, Home, and Happiness. I'm super glad you're here. There's a few things that I just wanted to chat with you about, since so many people that do the 75 Hard program, which I really enjoyed, are single men who have never breastfed. And so here we are. So the first thing I want to talk about is water. I think the gallon of water that he makes us drink that I was really not that happy about really did help my breast milk supply the most. I had tried going keto a couple times before trying 75 Hard, and my milk supply would just tank. And we know we're supposed to be drinking a lot of water, but we don't always get it. And by having that, you have to drink your gallon of water or you start the program over a day. I think that was what enabled me to keep my milk supply up while also completing the program, even though I was low carb for it, which you don't have to be. You can do any diet that you choose. I just chose low carb. And then the second thing I want to talk about is that I would really recommend waiting at least 3 months, which the first 3 months after you have a baby is, a lot of people call it the fourth trimester, because you're establishing your milk supply, your body's healing. Like you just pushed a baby out, like whether it was pushed out yourself or you had major abdominal surgery to get your baby out. Your body needs to heal. And I know that like the baby's out, we can breathe again, the baby's not sitting in our lungs, we don't get the acid reflux, I honestly sleep better after my baby's born because I'm not having to get up to pee all the time. And you might really want to get your body back in shape, but just wait those 3 months. If you've heard the saying, you have to go slow to go fast. You really need to heal and you need to make sure your body's healed. You need to make sure your milk supply is established and that your baby's doing well. And then there will be plenty of time to go exercise and do 75 Hard. So I would recommend waiting a minimum of 3 months, just because you don't want to do too much. If you do too much before your body has healed, you're at increased risk of mastitis, you're at increased risk of prolapse. Like you still have all those relaxin hormones in your body that are having your body relax so that you can get the baby out. So we need to wait until those hormones have balanced more and the area where the placenta was has healed over, our bleeding stopped, and our body started to go back on its own and recover from childbirth. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. Third is when you pick your diet, which on 75 Hard, you can pick any diet that you want. You just have to stick to it. It has to be like a legitimate diet. Like you can't say I'm going to do the junk food, I eat whatever I want diet. Like we know better. So just use some common sense, pick your diet, but make sure you're adding in that 500 extra calories that you use while breastfeeding. So most of us are, unless you're maybe a very tiny person, are not going to be able to breastfeed on 1,200 calories a day. So just make sure that you're eating enough calories to sustain your diet. Maybe choose a diet that's a little bit easier, because you are the baby's going to wake up to eat. And so you're going to be a little sleep deprived. You're probably not going to have if you try to do something too hard, it's going to be harder to complete it. So I chose to do dirty keto, that includes some keto junk food. And I mostly ate better than that most of the days, but on those days that I had to fall back on something, having chosen the dirty keto and not having to start my 75 Hard all the way over was definitely a lifesaver. And so for you, just make sure you get those fats, make sure you get protein. I still kept taking my prenatal. I still take my prenatal. And I waited until my baby was, I think she was about 5 months old when I started 75 Hard. With that water that we're drinking, that extra water that we're drinking, is that you want to make sure you're getting extra electrolytes. And so that can be like homemade Gatorade. I'll link to a video that I have. I use it in labor and breastfeeding as well. Get those electrolytes in, because just water isn't going to be enough. Make sure you're getting electrolytes also, and that'll help keep your breast milk production up as well. And if you don't want to make homemade electrolyte drink, you can just drink pickle juice, and that's allowed on most diets as well. And that will help your body to make all the blood, make all the milk. Milk is obviously made of more than just water. And then last, if you can't do 75 Hard, and this is where we'll do another video where we talk about what's an excuse versus what's a reason. This is my fourth baby that I have. She's super, super, super easy. She's my first baby to love the stroller. Legitimately, that's the only reason I could do 75 Hard, is because this baby loves the stroller. And so going out and doing a 45-minute walk jog with her was really no problem at all, because she enjoyed it. If I had tried to do this with a baby strapped to my body in the June, July, August heat, that would have been miserable for both of us. And so that That's where like you know yourself, and the best way to tell if you're making an excuse or if you have a reason why you need to wait is like, what would you tell your friend in the same situation? So if you tell your friend like, you have a hard baby, your baby does not sleep, you're exhausted, you have like 3 other little kids at home, those are all reasons that you need to wait. And so if you can't do this, that is totally just fine. Like, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you want your body back. It feels like, oh, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to be able to do it. But the days do go by fast. I promise. I know everybody hates hearing that, but it goes by fast. And so if you can't do it right now, that's totally okay. If you can do it right now and you're making excuses, that's what you would give your friend tough love for. That's how you know. So if you're just making excuses like, oh, I totally want to do this, but I'm waiting until like there's a blue moon, and I'm waiting until my baby's crawling, and I'm waiting until like all of these kind of nonsensical reasons, those are excuses. And if you like really think about it, and if you're having a hard time telling yourself, just think of what you tell your friend, and then you can go from there. So you can definitely start 75 hard when your baby's a toddler. You can start it when they start preschool. You can start it when they start kindergarten. So there's no rush to do it right at 3 months. But if you want to do it while you're breastfeeding, while you have an infant, I hope that these tips helped. Again, I'm Kara from Health, Home, and Happiness. I'm so glad that you're here. You could click subscribe, follow me, check out my other videos. Thanks for joining me.